Show. Always Irish. Show. Always Irish. Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Here we are. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody, to a Notre Dame versus Louisville / John pays off his OSU bet edition of the Always Irish Morning Show. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm completely thrown off. I don't like it. I can't concentrate. I feel like a traitor. I don't like it at all, but I'm going to try and get through. I'm just looking at my own face. I'm having trouble even thinking. Son of a... And the other thing is, right when I get a little bit down the road where I can start thinking of our other games, now I got to think of this stupid game all over again. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me as well. Notifications on that way you're alerted every time John loses a bet and has to clown himself on the internet. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Jake. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in lines. 312-988-15. John doesn't want to be heard or seen. Not today. Look at me. Bucknut Jr. over here in John's basement. Minus 600 pounds. Unbelievable. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Jake. USA Today, Irish Wire. Read all about it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Woody Hayes. Oh, yeah, it should have been, the logo should have been him choking that dude out. It's got an autograph on it. I think the Ohio pod people who were here this morning probably kicking back, enjoying me being all worked up. That's what this bet was about. It's autographed. I think he said it's like Ohio State's version of Rudy. Something like that. If there ain't a movie, then it doesn't count. You don't get to just make that up. If it isn't recognized in a movie, everybody recognizes it doesn't count. But here I am, looking like a clown. Yeah, it's good because I'm going to get so worked up, my face is going to match the color of this hat and shirt. Who in the hell is this? Mike Wargo, yes, known as OSU's Rudy. Sounds made up to me. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Oh, yeah, you look good in scarlet. As you can see, I'm having a rough morning. I feel disgusting. I feel disgraceful. I feel like a dirty traitor. But I made a bet that Notre Dame would beat Ohio State, and they didn't by an half an inch because they don't even feel like they need to have all the players on the field that are allowed to play in a game. So here I am because of 1 inch and the inability of people at a smart school to not be able to count right. As for the sign, that's for reputation protection. I ain't taking any risk of anybody clipping this and going, oh, look at John, he's flipped sides. No. So the sign is for reputation protection. Okay? Now, here's how we're going to do this. Now, I'm not myself today because you got to understand, I'm looking at this nightmare. I could see it. And the more I got to look at the screen, and every time I see myself in it with this, I get upset again. So forgive me. Forgive me. Low key, he looks like an undercover cop. Yeah, I'm going to hit the streets. Excuse me, local youths. Do you have any marijuanas I could purchase? I'm not myself. I'm going to try and keep it together. Maybe I'll get more used to this garbage. Because here's the thing, you guys. If I could get past this redness, you'll realize there's more redness coming down the line the next 2 weeks. One tomorrow, and then another red, even an uglier red the week after that. And Notre Dame's got to win both those games to save the damn season. There's a lot to cover. So I may not be myself, but we're going to get through it the best we can. Let's look at super chats. I'm going to go over a couple notes about Louisville, and then we will take your phone calls. We'll see what you guys think. $20 holler from my lawyer, Eric. OC Parker is a simpleton. He needs to get much more creative with his play calling. The fact that the offense is so basic shows me he's not the right guy. Eric. Now, I know you're a lawyer. You're smart. That's why you're a lawyer. Okay? This week, I need to see the offense get back to looking more like it looked before we got into Ohio State and Duke. If we don't see that, even if we win, it's problems. Red flag, more red than my shirt. More red than these woodies on my head. So I'm with you, Eric. And it isn't just the predictability of the offense. There was no pivot. The run plays they were running against Duke is what they were running against Duke. And when Duke held up against it, they didn't go anywhere else. They didn't have a pivot. They just kept doing the same thing. That's a big part of what I'm looking for against Louisville. Notre Dame's offense has to get way back to putting up more points than they did the last 2 weeks. You need them to beat Louisville, and you're most definitely going to need them to beat those Hollywood fake frauds. So I'm with you. I need this offense to take a big jump back to where we were this week, or even if we win, it is a huge red flag. I'm with you. Notre Dame has more weapons than they've used the last 2 weeks. And I know you had wide receivers out last week and all that. There were other things you could do to get guys involved, and you didn't. And it almost cost you the game. I ain't here for that. $5 holler. Morning, John and the Always Irish family. 1 day away from obtaining answers to questions. How healthy are the wide receivers? O-line was last week an outlier. Can Freeman get the team's mind right? Pat? Those are all beautiful questions. That's something to keep in mind. Even though the wide receivers are back, you don't know how healthy they are, how much they're able to put a foot in the ground and turn into a route, whatever. I don't know. Was the O-line last week an outlier? I thought the Ohio State guy said Notre Dame was the best offensive line they played. And then Duke was pushing Notre Dame around most of the game. So, and is some of this that maybe Duke's a We already know they're a really good defense. Maybe they're better than we even thought. I don't know. Maybe they're better than we even thought. And that's a part of it. I'm going to give them credit for playing good defense. But I still think Notre Dame had no answers most of the game. And they didn't pivot to anything. And it shows inexperience at OC, I think. As far as getting their minds right, if there was a week that should have been an issue, it was last week, coming off Ohio State into the next game in a tough environment. That should have been the week where you had trouble making sure everybody was zoned in. And I feel like Notre Dame played like they were a little bit out of it for a while. So they should be wired back in now. You're coming off a win. You should be feeling better about yourself. I'm going to be distraught if Notre Dame comes out and doesn't look better than they did last week. You have to look better than you did last week. There's no reason not to. You got to win. You can't use that Ohio State hangover I'm going to have for the next 30 years as a reason. Come out ready. I expect that. I'm going to be bitterly disappointed, and it is a major red flag if we come out looking dumb. Or if we come out and put up 20 points of offense again in a third week in a row, guess what? You're probably losing next week too. Season's over. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. I'm not kidding. You're going to need points to beat USC. I got to see a more real-life offense. The last 2 weeks, the more the offense I see, the more recent Kelly nightmares play back in my head. Boring, predictable, straight-ahead offense with nothing to it. Predictable out the ass. So predictable and boring and just nothing creative other than a punt. That was your most creative play, was a fake punt, bro. So I know you had wide receivers out. There was a lot of other stuff you could do to try and negate that. And throwing it to the tight end 20 times. Why can't those running backs, we got 4 of them running all over and we love what each of them can do. They can't go out and catch a pass. You can't, I need to see more this week. I'm open to the old hangover into Duke from Iowa, and they're a good defense. I'll give you that. This needs to be a trend back up. The Louisville defense is not what Duke and Ohio State is. It ain't. Okay? Oh, man. Go $2 holler from Steven. Go Irish, stomp Louisville, burn that. It's just bad, man. $20 holler. Congrats on the launch of Always Irish merch. Thank you, man. Took me a while to put that all together. Looks like it's going well, and everybody likes the designs. Listen, if there's anything you guys want, let me know. I can build it. I think winter hats somebody asked for, coffee cups and beer mugs, that kind of stuff, that's coming. I want to make sure that stuff's available for the holidays, but I needed to get it going and test it with the basics first, like a t-shirt and a hoodie. But I could get into the winter knit caps with the logo sewn on there and the beer mugs with the logo. We could get into that. Thanks, Jay. $10 holler for B1 Rotate. John, the OSU crowd is so toxic. They think everybody loves Ohio State like they do, but don't understand outside their fan base, nobody gives a crap care in the world about them. And it hurts their soul. But they beat us. So I can't really say a damn word. Geez. Unbelievable. Okay. Somebody says, I feel like this episode's in Technicolor. Oh, yeah. Look at this. There's still room to go 7-5 this season. Well, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is if you get beat at Louisville, you ain't beating. I don't think you're beating Ohio State because it'll probably be an offensive problem. And I don't care how bad USC's defense is. You're going to need to score like bunches of points, I think, to beat that. You're in big trouble. Notre Dame's just got to win, man. You got to win. You absolutely have to. And the other thing is, national people picking Louisville. There's a lot of momentum on the Louisville side. And it's just been, it's been wild. So there is some divergence here. Josh Pate, 247, very popular on YouTube. The 247 reporter. He said it was going to be Louisville earlier in the week. Then he doubled down on it last night, saying that Notre Dame fans are out of their minds with this one. Bro, I don't see it that way at all. I mean, of this 4-game tough stretch, Louisville should be the easiest one to beat. And I'm not saying they're bad. I respect their unblemished record. But I'm just saying, in this 4-game window and the way it sets up, Louisville's got to be the easiest one. It ain't Ohio State. It isn't USC. And because of Duke's defense and the emotions coming out of Ohio State, that ain't it either. So, geez, I mean, I want to respect that they're undefeated. I want to respect that they're undefeated, but god dang, I mean, this is the easiest of the 4, bro. $5 holler from Texas Mac. What's the over-under and how many times they show Jake Plummer's mom? Infinity. I don't know why this is the year that they got to show the extended family tree on every game of every quarterback. I don't care. I don't care. Here's what I'm okay with. When the offense first goes on the field for the first drive of the game, if you want to say, pan to the crowd for 5 seconds and say, there's this kid's mom and dad. They're very proud of little Timmy. It's his first start in big-time college football. Look at how nervous the mom is and excited the dad is. I'm fine with that for 5 seconds. That's all it needs to be. You pan up there and go, mom and dad are proud of their boy, whatever. I don't understand why half of these broadcasts are about their families now. I don't get it. They got to keep showing them after every good play. And then when something bad happens, they never show it then. It annoys me. Show me the game. Too much of football is turned into showing Taylor Swift and who she's dating and these people's families. I don't give a crap about any of them. Unless I'm the one driving out of the stadium in a convertible with Taylor Swift, I don't care. It's none of my business who this guy dates. I don't care. Show me the football game. Show me the football game. Okay? This one's off the rails today, folks. This is already getting stupid on me. Let me gather my thoughts for a second here. I got a few calls here we're going to get to. Unbelievable. Riley Leonard to ND as a grad transfer. Don't think for a second I haven't thought about that. But you know what? I got enough problems to get through the rest of this year without my head exploding on the air before I even worry about what that all is going to look like. But that we're going to get into it. That's a big damn deal. That's a big damn deal. $20 holler from my lawyer in Michigan. I watched a lot of Louisville versus NC State. Despite being 5-0, Louisville is not that good. ND crushes them 45-14. I'm telling you, a bunch of people are picking their way. Even national people picking their way. They got it at home, all this stuff. Whatever, bro. Thanks for the donation, Eric. You're the best lawyer I've never had. So here's where I'm going to set this up. Callers hang in there. There's some more now. I'll get to you, I promise. I'm sorry, my mind ain't right. My mind ain't right. I'm looking at this and I just hate myself. I just can't. Every time I look in the screen and see myself, I get disgusted. This is, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And having to relive the memories of Ohio State is unfortunate. I will never get over it. Took me 18 years to process Bush push, and now it's all started over from ground zero with this one. And I really don't appreciate this demon being a part of my existence from now on. Okay? On to this stupid game this week. I knew it was going to be a big deal from the Louisville side. You knew that. And then when they became undefeated, you knew it was going to be a bigger deal. Even in the summer, you knew it was going to be a blackout, night game and all that. You knew that. This game's built up even bigger than I realized, bigger than I thought. This is where social media is helpful. You can always gauge the vibes from the other side by what Twitter is like. The algorithm knows each week when we have a new opponent, their tweets from those fans that I otherwise don't care about get pushed into my thread when it's hashtag ND Louisville, whatever. They know to put those in front of me. So then you start getting a sample of the other side and where they're coming from. Okay? And let me tell you this is their Super Bowl. This is their Super Bowl. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it with my own family. I have a first cousin who is with high up in corporate Kroger in Louisville, like in the corporate office doing marketing and stuff. They're having a huge blowout event for this game. Donors coming, Kroger people to entertain, all this, having a huge get together. Somebody else I know is having a DJ come. They're having a huge party in the parking lot. This is a big damn deal to them. Notre Dame better be ready or you're going to get beat. You cannot sleepwalk when you're in these environments where it's their Super Bowl. You got to know. You got to know and be prepared for it. Get up. Listen, this crowd's going to be drunk. And they are going to be loud. And the only way you simmer that down, get up 17-0, 17-3 in the first quarter. And also, I'd like that because you would exceed your average point output the last 2 weeks. I understand Ohio State and Duke have really good defenses. I am still sticking to my guns that Notre Dame's point output in both was inappropriate and unacceptable and not good enough. You did not bring Sam Hartman here to score 14 and 21 in the biggest games of the year. Check yourself, bro. Check yourself. That ain't why this guy's here. And you know why else Sam Hartman's not here? To put up a million stats against Tennessee State and Central Michigan and Navy. That ain't why he's here. He is supposed to be here to make Notre Dame win the other games. 14 and 20. I ain't here for that, bro. I ain't here for it. I can't do it. I'm not here for that. It can't be, and it needs to get a lot better. So this is their Super Bowl. They're all fired up. Their fans are running their mouths on Twitter at an unbelievable rate. It's absolutely astonishing, the shit talking coming out of Louisville. Like, that's why I like the Twitter thing. You really get a feel of the confidence level of the other team and where they're coming from. They are running their mouths big time. So this is a huge, huge deal for them. A huge deal. And you shutting them up and quieting that crowd is job number one this week. So Notre Dame's got to be ready. Angela, I looped you in it. Somebody was calling Rudy's dad a jerk. So I looped Angela in it, and I said, Angela, set this guy straight on how nice your grandpa was, please. And I let her deal with it. That's family. But there was a Louisville guy who did a big article on what a bad person Rudy's dad was. So I looped Angela in. I said, set this guy straight. Tell him your grandpa was a good guy. All right. Notre Dame's got to be ready again. There's no leeway here. And I think they will be. They got to be entering this in a better mental place than they did after Duke. Okay? Yeah. Texas Mac. That's another one. Unbelievable. Duke thinks they had 7.7 million viewers because of them. Did you guys see that tweet? My head almost popped off my carcass. Did you see? They put out a tweet, 7.7 million viewers, all eyes on us in the Duke logo and everything. The Duke people think 7.7 million people turned in to watch Duke play football. It's quite honestly hilarious. It's hilarious. They actually put that tweet out acting like they thought 7.7 million viewers tuned in to watch Duke football. These people are delusional nerds that go to Duke. That's what they are. Delusional nerds, bro. Like, they don't understand. Half of those people tuned in because they like Notre Dame. The other half tuned in because they hate Notre Dame. It has nothing to do with Duke. Are you out of your mind? It has nothing to do with Duke. Half those people are our people, and the other half just hate us, and they're going to root for anybody. Unbelievable that for one moment they could think that they were the draw there. And it wasn't just Notre Dame or wanting Notre Dame to lose. Unfreaking believable, bro. You are Duke. Oh, God. Anyways, Notre Dame's got to be ready. You got to have this game. And if you lose the game, or I'm going to even say if you struggle down to the wire again, it's a big red flag for the rest of the year. Redder than my shirt and my face. It can't be. This has to be a get-right game for Notre Dame, or everything could go sideways. I don't like it. Even if Notre Dame wins, but it feels like it did last week or anything like it, it's a red flag. Can't be. Notre Dame's got to get right. Practically and perceptually. If Notre Dame has any hope of the playoff anymore, you can't lose. And even if you do win out, you might be locked out now because of Michigan, Ohio State. That's the other thing. I have people looking at the playoff thing. What if Notre Dame goes 11-1? How do they get in and all that? I have a real concern if Michigan and Ohio State win out, and Michigan probably should because they play nobody. Maybe Penn State could beat and mix this up. But I can't buy into Penn State in big game moments till they prove to me they could win them. It's like Brian Kelly in those games. Till Franklin proves you're going to knock off Michigan or Ohio State, I don't believe in them. Right now, Franklin, to me, is Kelly at Notre Dame. Really good, like pretty good recruiting, but not elite. Beat the teams you should beat, lose to the biggest games of the year. To me, that's what Penn State is. Till the minute they prove me otherwise, then I'll change that. But that's what they are to me. Pretty good recruiting, but not elite. Beat most teams they should, lose to the biggest. And I don't like that. But I'm worried if you have Michigan and Ohio State undefeated, you're telling me whoever loses that game isn't getting in with one loss against the other? So, I don't see how that works out. If they're both undefeated, I think no matter what happens, they get two of the spots right away. The SEC is going to get a spot. And then you have, you could beat USC maybe, and that knocks the Pac-12 out. And then you got the ACC. What happens with Florida State? What about the Big 12, Texas? I don't know. But that's the issue is if you get in a situation where Michigan and Ohio State are both in, you're screwed, bro. You're screwed, bro. So this vibe's going to be hyped. But I'm going to be extremely bitter if Notre Dame has a hard of a time moving the ball this week as they did the last two. That would be the biggest red flag ever, bro. I need the offense to get right. You got Greathouse back. You got Thomas. You got Eli back. Let's ride. You need to ramp this offense up for this moment and what comes next. This defense is not Duke's, and it ain't Ohio State's. The offense needs to look much more efficient or we are in trouble. Small picture Saturday night, big picture rest of the year. Time. Time. Okay? Now, on defense, what I've read or seen, there's some doubts about their offensive line at times. I don't know. We've played Plummer. Is anybody alive scared of Plummer? Not a Plummer. You need that so your toilet don't back up. I'm talking about this Plummer. Does that guy scare anybody? We played him the last 2 years and beat him. Is he scaring you? Brian Kelly's caddy. John's a little more hostile with that Woody hat on. Yeah, because I'm miserable. I'm not happy. I feel like a dirty, dirty traitor. Jack Plummer ran on us all over on us last year. How many points did they score in that game? They didn't score that many. Am I misremembering that? And even if he ran all over us, I'd still ask, are you scared? That was us being bad last year. You could have ran all over us. And it's because we're bad, not because you're good. I think the defense is at a different level this year. The Always Irate Show. Yeah, they scored 17. So what's a world where a guy runs all over us and they score 17? That's what I thought. We played like poop. But ran all over us. 17, you got to score more than 17 for me to say he ran all over us. I'm sorry. Adam says the playoffs aren't worth talking about till the USC game. You're absolutely right about that. If you lose this one and you lose that one, don't worry about it. Adam, you're right. You're right. $5 holler from BVG's burner. John, any chance you could put a good word in for me at LSU? I think I can improve their defense. I'm looking for a job. I don't think I've ever watched a Missouri game on purpose since didn't Chase Daniel go there like 20 years ago? That's the last time I remember watching a Missouri game. I'm going to be the biggest Missouri fan in the world. I'm going to be sitting there rooting for them. I don't understand this, though. How come Missouri spelled with S's, but it's Mizzou with Z's when you talk about it? I don't understand that, bro. It's been bugging me like for 2 days. Why the hell is that? It's spelled with S's, but then when you talk about it, it's Z's. I don't understand how that works at all. I don't get it. Am I missing something, bro? So, yeah, I'm rooting all in for Mizzou to beat Kelly 2 in a row and their defense to be terrible. Mike with the $2 holler. OH. Whatever. $10 holler from the Ohio podcast. Thanks for being a good sport, John. Mad props for being a man of your word. Good luck the rest of the season. I hope we can do this again in the CFP. I really mean that. Hey, you guys it hurts me to say. I told my parents this last night. They came over for dinner. We had parent-teacher conferences, so they watched Riley, and then we got back and we had dinner, and we're talking to them, and my dad's like, oh man, you're not going to like doing this. And I'm like, dude, I want to not like these Ohio podcast guys, but I can't. At dinner, we were talking about it. And I'm like, dude, I want to not like these guys, but they're so nice and we get along and I like them and I hate it. Like, it's a big compliment to them. I want to not like them and not engage with them, but I do like them. And they're just two legitimately nice guys off the air away from football for me to really hate them. It's really disturbing. It's upsetting. It is. 1111 a holler from Always Irish Art. I'll be in the stands tomorrow night. Big ND presence. Louisville barely got past NC State. Louisville left side of the line is weak. Maris gets 2+ sacks. ND by 2+ scores. Anybody know when the boys fly in? Yeah, I don't know. And again, wasn't that game 13-10? I don't know what you make of that. I think it was 13-10, the Louisville NC State game. I don't know what to make of that. And the other thing I want to note about that's an absolute freaking joke is See, I don't like this now. When I have a comment on the air, nobody can see the shirt that verifies I'm not doing this on purpose. This is messing up my whole life today. Anybody new watching? Not by choice. Lost a bet. Because Notre Dame can't count. The worst way to lose a bet ever. It's unbelievable. That's the other thing. You notice this. That game was at NC State at night against an undefeated in-conference opponent. And the vibe was nowhere near what it was for NC State against Notre Dame at noon in I almost said something bad, in a hurricane. Power of the Notre Dame brand. You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant. Why was there more hype in the stands at noon in a monsoon against us than your own in-conference opponent at night in good weather? That's what Notre Dame does. Moves the needle. Moves the needle. That's what they do. That's what they do. Oh. All right, I'm almost through my notes. I'm going to give it to the callers. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of sorts. I am completely out of sorts and not myself. It's very, very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Okay. So this defense, here's my ultimate point. This defense is not what the last two were. If Notre Dame's offense does not look way more put together, it is a huge red flag for the rest of the year and for Parker. I can't handle it. You did not bring Hartman in here to struggle like you did the last 2 weeks in the biggest must-have games of the year. I am not here for that. I didn't sign up for that. That's not what this was supposed to be, and I hate it. So, and you can tell me they have two really good defenses. I acknowledge that. And I still expected you to do better against it. Sorry, I just did. So, a lot of people picking Louisville. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, let's get into some of this. We got a handful of calls right now. I'm going to give you all your time. 260, what's up?
Good morning, John. How we doing, man?
I mean, I've been better. Look at me.
You look great. You know, the red kind of suits you there. You're wearing the scarlet letter, man. Like literally wearing the scarlet letter.
I don't like it at all.
Hey, it's Friday.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But you know what, man? Hey, there's always an angle. I'm like, if I have to do this and I'm going to hate it, I'm at least going to make some content out of it, man. Like, I at least got to get something out of it. So I'm trying to roll with it, but I hate it. I look like an idiot.
Hey, man, I look at it this way in the business perspective. Look, your viewership is up because you got a bunch of Ohio State trolls watching here, you know, clipping shots and whatnot. You're going to make more money and views with various shorts that are coming through. So, hey, you know what? You're gonna make money. That's the bottom line,
but
right?
I just hate that. You know, I want to make it in an honorable way. You know what I mean? But like, I get it. Hey, man, listen.
It is honorable.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm honoring my bet. You're right about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not that we lost the game; it's how. I think that is the factor I can't move past is. It's not just that we lost it, it's how and how close we were to those guys wearing always Irish gear, and it's really bothering me. All right, man, enough about that.
Yep.
There are some mixed opinions about this Notre Dame-Louisville game. There are people picking them. They are fired up. It is going to be a hostile environment, loud, everything. They are pulling out all the bells and whistles, and I want to know where you're at with it. I look at this as the most gettable game of the four in the stretch we're in, and I expect Notre Dame to look a lot better and be able to do more. I'm going to have a problem. Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, first, I don't listen to these quote-unquote experts because they have no skin in the game. They can go out and pick any team to win any game, and when that team loses and gets blown out, all their projections are wrong. They don't lose their job. They continue to make money. They get the clicks. So I don't really care what the experts say because most of them have never even stepped on a football field, you know, that are out there. So it is what it is. Where I'm at is going back to my super chat. It's like when games like this when Notre Dame goes into a game like this, it's a question of where's your mind at? Especially you are man, this schedule is wild. Like, this is the 7th game in a row. You're facing another top 25 opponent in their place. Prime time again. Of course, it's got to be 7:30. We got to wait all day to watch this sucker.
Oh, yeah.
And then where's your mind at? Okay. It was last week, just an outlier, especially for the offensive line. How healthy are these wide receivers? That sort of thing like that. Because if Notre Dame's mind is right, and last week was an outlier, and these wide receivers are close to 90%, if not better, then Notre Dame is going to win this game and is going to be comfortable when it's all said and done. If it's not, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
That's when you start going, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah. Yeah. I expect Notre Dame's defense to be serviceable like they've been all year. Like, there are complaints, but they play winning football. They put up an amount of points you should be able to win every game in. I need them to do that again. But I'm looking at this offense, and it needs to trend back up starkly this week, not only to win this game, but for what's coming next. I need that. And if I don't see it, dude, even if we win, but the offense struggles again, bro, that is red flag central. You need points the week after. Like, I need to see it, man, because I am just not happy with where we're at. There are a lot of reasons why. The other defense, fine. I acknowledge that. I still think we should be doing different things and be more effective. I got to see that trend up, or I'm waving this shirt as a red flag, man. Am I overreacting? That's honestly where I'm coming from.
Overreacting, maybe a little. Again, how I look at games.
At least you're being honest. I'm glad you feel comfortable being honest with me. I love that. That's good. Yeah.
I'm just telling you that how I see it. Anyway, so like 98 out of 100 times, it is because of the players' execution if a team wins or loses. Unfortunately, we have seen 2 of the 100 times against Ohio State. That's where the coaches lost that game for the players, okay? But what I'm saying is, could Parker have adjusted? Sure. Was there different plays they could have ran? Sure. But I also look back and I watch an offensive line that got completely exploited by an extremely good defensive-minded coach. Okay, let me give you an example. Duke's defense was lining up in a way that it looked like the best route to go was up the middle with run. Okay, they were showing that look. Think about how many times did ABC show how Notre Dame defended that read option with Duke? They crashed the linebacker down and then flooded their 3 technique, which is Riley Mills, out. And they go, they're defending this way. That's a great scheme. And guess what? Duke schemed the hell out of Notre Dame to take away their number one weapon.
Now let me ask you this. Now wait. Yeah. Now let me ask you this. Where was Notre Dame's pivot? That's where the problem comes in. You knew Elko knows what he's doing, and you knew Elko knows what he's doing, and he was going to come up with a plan. And they had the athletes up front to make it a challenge. My issue is, when you notice that he has a plan and they're doing a good job, I did not see an appropriate pivot. Notre Dame did not seem to have anything else to go to in the run game or to try and scheme it different. And that is a red flag to me. I did not like that as a red flag. Now, I understand the wide receiver situation was bad. You were limited there. But I still was disappointed there was not a pivot in the run game at all. And they kept running it right into what Duke wanted, into some boxes with bodies in it where you're not going to gain any yards. And we ran it anyways. It felt like a Kelly Reese thing. And I don't like that.
Yeah. They should have done different things, get the back out, basically wheel routes, whatever you want to, in that sense, maybe some angle routes, whatnot. I agree. The thing is what's crazy is the second half, Elko pivoted as well. And he essentially ran the Navy's defensive scheme last year. It was cover 0. It was blitz the house. It was exploit the guards in the center because all of them sucked. And basically jam these wide receivers. And so now you got too many people flooding the zone. So your run game is basically eliminated. And now you got to have your receivers who suck make a play. And so it's one of those type of things where you look, you look at how the game unfolded, yes, there should have been a pivot. I completely agree, but it's one of those where you're playing with not enough athletes, and you're going to get, when you're going up against a team such as Duke, which is a good team, not a bunch of individualized players, just a good team, it's going to be hard to move the ball. I mean, again, this is not a fluke. This is what they've done over and over again in the season to good competition. I mean, I go back, I watched the Clemson game. They essentially schemed the hell out of them as well, and they couldn't do anything. Yes, they moved the ball, but they stopped down close to the red zone. Guess what Notre Dame did? The same thing. It's one of those things where sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due. I'm not saying that Notre Dame couldn't do things different. That's, again, understand. Two things can be true at once, and that's the thing that I don't understand. How people can't.
Fans are bad at that. No. I struggle with that every week, dude. Everybody needs all or nothing to be able to process things in their mind. Why can't it be Elko and their defense did a great job, and they are a really good, high-end, tough, physical defense who schemes well and knows what to do. And Notre Dame needed to be better at pivoting off of it and still putting up numbers. Why can't both of those be true and accurate at the exact damn same time?
They are. I mean, they are true. I wish that there was different things. I was calling to get basically, be it Love, Price, whomever, kind of just flare it out. It's like a running back flare, an angle route, something like that to basically switch it up. Because the receivers, I mean, my goodness, wow, is that a train wreck? Just the people that were playing there.
Yep.
And then your guards just got their ass kicked. And what the hell is going on with Fisher? Because he hasn't played anywhere near a first round draft pick. So at least he'll be back next year as way as he's playing. So the Lions got to step up, and that's where it all begins. Going to a game against Louisville is always is in the trenches, man. So we're going to see. We're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we are. And the best thing Notre Dame can do in an environment like this is play well early. That'll be the only way to calm that crowd down, kill the momentum a little bit and the vibe they have going. And Notre Dame doesn't have a choice. They got to play better this week. And so it's another tricky dynamic, man. We knew in the summer, we all talked about this 4-game stretch being really tough. It's way tougher than we even thought, because whoever figured that Duke and these guys would be undefeated and ranked it like that good. I don't think a lot of people figured that. So this is really tough. And the other thing, man, I'm sure you've seen this too. The Louisville people are killing Hartman because they literally had 8 turnovers at Wake against them last year. 8. He had like 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles or something. They had 8 turnovers against them. So all over Twitter this week, I've been hearing, it's going to happen again. He's a turnover mag. He's going to throw us the ball. Knock on wood, he has 0 this year. I'm not expecting an onslaught of those mistakes from him this week. I'm not.
No, I'm not either. I mean, 8 turnovers, holy hell. Could you even imagine that? Look, Hartman is not playing the way he did at Wake because he doesn't have to. Wake was extremely limited at wide receiver, offensive line, running back, etc. I mean, it's an academic school. I mean, it's like 8,000 people that go to that school, legit. Okay, and he has to take chances.
Wait, isn't that what we have? Isn't that what we have at Notre Dame, or is it up to like 12 now with the graduate students? I think we're in that range too. When we're like, oh, that's small, I'm pretty sure we're in that same ballpark. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's over 10. I want to say. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I don't know, but yeah, it's just one of those things where with Wake, it's all scheme. Like their offense is all scheme, and it's not a question of what that scheme is. I mean, it's that slow mesh. It's one of those things where it's chuck the ball deep because they can't drive the ball consistently. They'll get blown out. Yeah. And so Hartman doesn't need to take these risks of throwing the ball to receivers double covers, or the window is about the size of like a thimble. You know what I mean? He doesn't need that. Yeah. He doesn't have to do that. That's not where he's at. So I look at it like this, where with Hartman, he's got a hell of a lot better line. He's not turning the ball over. And it's where his receivers have got to make plays, man. I don't blame Hartman necessarily for some of these games. These receivers have got to make plays, and it's killing them.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's like that. Like some of these games, I'm just watching it, and remember that was it Mike Patelli, the radio host up at Michigan State? It's just like, make plays. Like I'm screaming at TV, make plays, and pucker.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like watching some of this crap. Like how in the hell can you? Like I just go back to the play with Tobias going across that crosser late in the second half.
Yeah.
Or for second quarter, excuse me. He's open. Catch the damn ball. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit behind you, but it's right there in the hands. That's a first down. That's first and goal. Maybe a touchdown, but first and goal. Notre Dame probably goes up 17-0. That game's on ice, and we're having a completely different conversation right now. But we can't catch the ball.
Yeah.
And so it's Notre Dame's got to get healthy, man. We got to get these receivers to make plays.
Yeah, you're right. So what do you think happens, man? Do you think it's frustrating, but Notre Dame ends up pulling it out in the end late? Or do you think Notre Dame could actually build a little cushion here and take care of business without me having an aneurysm? What happens here, do you think?
Good question. So Louisville they have players. So Duke is a good team. Louisville has good players. Okay. And what concerns me most about this game outside of just Notre Dame not creating 10 penalties because their mind aren't right in the game because they can't even line up on side. Take that aside. Brohm is a very good big game coach.
Yep.
He's blown out Ohio State.
Yep.
That's right. The Ohio State got smoked.
Yep.
48-20. I remember that watching that game.
Yep. Thursday night. Wasn't that a
Iowa.
Thursday night special, if I believe? I remember it. Yep.
Remember, I think it's 2021. Purdue beat Iowa and Penn State. They were both top 10 teams. Granted, they were not legit top 10 teams, but at the time, like Iowa was number 2, Penn State was number 2.
Yeah, they're ranked where they're ranked. Yeah. Yep.
So with Brohm, that concerns me, man, because he has athletes that's how he wins in these big games. Is he's constantly scheming to get his athletes like thrash open all the time. And then, yes, I understand what it does and not what you're supposed to do, but he's going to pull out all the stops. There's going to be trickery, whatever, fourth and whatever, anticipate fake punts, anticipate onside kicks when they're not supposed to, because that's what he does. That's how he's going to try to win this game. And I can tell you, Louisville is going to be chucking that ball.
Yeah.
And they're going to be chucking it all deep, is what I mean by that. So, and oh, by the way, you better get ready to get ACC'd because these refs are going to call pass interference galore. You just mark it right now, whatever time it is on the East Coast. It's like 10, going to 11 o'clock. Right now, they're going to call pass interference like crazy against Notre Dame because they're going to try to keep them in the game because that's what's going to happen. We already know, okay, this is going to happen. So Notre Dame, in my opinion, I think Louisville comes out. I think they're going to lay a couple of haymakers early. I do. I think they're going to hit. And then it's going to be Notre Dame coming from behind. They're going to we saw what happened with it.
That's a bad dynamic, brother. That's a bad dynamic because then the crowd's going to be in it, and here we go. I don't like any of this. I don't like your path.
Yep.
I'm
telling you, I think this is where this is going. I hope I'm wrong. Please, I love eating crow. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Louisville's going to land a couple of haymakers, man. I think they will. The crowd's going to be ruckus, and we saw what happened with a high school stadium last week and how our offensive line can't figure out the count. So now you got additional 30,000 fans. You know what I mean? And so will Notre Dame be able to grind it out? Because that's what they want to do. That's Notre Dame's game plan is to just get behind these big uglies and run the ball 50 times.
But you can only do that if it's freaking working. You tried it last week and it didn't work and you had no damn answers. You can only do that if you can do that. So do we pull it out late? Do we get it out late?
I think this is where the trenches are going to come into play, man. I think because I watched the NC State Louisville game last week. NC State showed exactly how you shut an offense down like this. They just blitz like crazy. And guess what we do? We blitz like crazy. Now, granted, North Carolina State's defensive scheme, blitzing-wise, a little bit more, diverse than, let's say, Notre Dame's, who's always the A-gap blitz, which is kind of one of those I wonder why we keep doing this. Yeah. But, okay. But it's going to be pressure. So I think Plummer's going to turn the ball over. Notre Dame wins that turnover battle this game, that offensive line will establish itself. They're going to keep running it. And eventually that trench is going, you're going to see the line of scrimmage go in Notre Dame's favor. Notre Dame will come back. They're going to go up. I see them winning by 10 plus points. I just think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to start out going, oh, geez, here we go.
Great.
But I think they established themselves.
Man, yeah, if you did that, and getting behind them is dangerous. So I hope it doesn't come to that. But man, it's another one of those environments, man. Hey, thanks a lot for the donation. Thanks for the breakdown. Have a good weekend, man. And I want you eating crusted crow for dinner tomorrow night after the game or something, okay? That's what I want, is you to be eating some crusted crow, and hopefully what you said doesn't come true. All right, man?
Hey, John, you serve it up, baby. I'll gladly eat it. God bless you. Love the show as always, man. And go Irish.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the breakdown. I don't understand this. Henry here came out of the woodwork. No idea where he came from. John calling another team's fan base delusional is gold. Name anything I've said on this show that is delusional about where Notre Dame's at football-wise. I can't answer for what people on Twitter are saying or whatever, like the whole fan base. Name me anything I've said about where Notre Dame's at that is delusional. Going into the Ohio State game, I didn't say Ohio State's overrated. We're going to kill them by 3 scores at home, and I don't respect their talent. That never happened. The whole buildup was me saying, I respect what they are, and I respect their talent, but I think Notre Dame is in a better place to be able to compete with them head-to-head this year than we've been lately. That was my angle. There was never any disrespect to Ohio State's athletes or anything. You'll never find any tweets or any of my videos or content on my show or visiting others that week where I downgraded what they were, ever. I'm very careful with my messaging and not to expose myself in that way. So I don't know why was it delusional for me to say, I think Notre Dame's in a good position to be able to go toe-to-toe with you guys this week. I'm proven correct by how the game went. So maybe you're delusional, Henry. Maybe you're delusional. All I said is Notre Dame's in a position to play this team tough, and it went down to the last inch. I'm the one who's right. I'm the one who's right. What I said is exactly how the game played out. How in the hell am I delusional, Henry? Your media going out there and saying they're going to beat our ass and it ain't even going to be close. They're the delusional ones. That stupid egghead dork that was saying it was going to be bad and they're going to get blown off the field. He's the delusional one. His brain cells got stuck in the rolls in his neck. He's the delusional one, not me. My prediction was spot on. Some of your people are the ones who were off. Sean Ramsey looks like his future's here on the future of the FBI most wanted list. This is a little suspect from Sean here. USC brats the break off y'all no matter what the score is this week. Sean, seek a grammar lesson, bro. I don't even know what that sentence means. USC brats the break off y'all. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Man, that's just rough. 810, what do you know? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
It's a rough morning for me. I feel very uncomfortable in my current attire, and I don't like it, and it's got me all out of sorts.
You look miserable.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to have fun with it, but I'm generally miserable. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't believe I've ever had a hat on representing another college. Like I've had a White Sox hat on going to a baseball game or whatever, but I've never in my whole life remember a moment where I have ever had a hat of another college on and I feel like a traitor, bro. I'm very uncomfortable, but it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, I foolishly made a bet with a Michigan buddy of mine prior to the 2019 game.
Oh boy.
How do you think that went? How do you
boy.
think that went the Monday after?
Yeah, that's yeah, that's rough.
It didn't hurt because I lost the bet. It hurt because of the way we lost.
Yeah, well, we're on opposite ends of that. You got the blowout. You got the blowout one, and I got the you're a half an inch from pulling it off one. Yeah, dude, I get it. It is the way. It isn't just the loss. It's both of those were uniquely painful losses in their own differing ways. You're right on that.
Yeah, and I hope that this week they have a quote unquote get right game.
Gotta have it. Got it. You absolutely have to have it. You have no choice, man. You have no choice but to have a get right game because of what's coming after you. You got to ramp this offense back up to look more like real life modern offense, not Tommy Reese, Brian Kelly land.
Right. And we can't play the way we played last week against Duke, against USC, or we're going to get creamed.
Yeah, it's man, I'm just I'm so out of it with this outfit on, man. But you got to get right, and it's got to start offensively. I believe the defense is going to hang in there. I need that offense to get right. I need the run game to get back in gear, and I need you to throw the ball a little bit because you're going to have to next week too.
Yeah, and you can't overlook Louisville. You can't be looking ahead to USC this week.
Yeah, no, you absolutely cannot. That's how you get beat on the road. That's how you get beat on the road. Now, I am not on the team. I can sit here and say to myself, I'm connecting these two. And even if Notre Dame wins, but our offense doesn't look way better, I am more worried about USC than I should be. The offense has to get right, period, or I'm going to freak out.
And another thing is, with this Louisville game, I wish the bye week were next week instead of the week after SC.
Oh, obviously.
I
hate it.
I really, and that's how it is and because we had the week 0 game, we get 2 bye weeks. Our second bye week is after Clemson.
Yeah.
I wish the 2 bye weeks were flipped, where we had a bye week before USC and a bye week before Clemson.
Yep. And I did an episode about that earlier in the week because it's horrible scheduling. And I know some of it's beyond their control. I also know that being in Dublin had to change some things. But now that I look at this stretch, you are not doing your team any favors when you play 8 in a row before a bye. And like 5 of them are top 25 undefeated teams or whatever. It's just a rough dynamic to navigate. It's not easy.
Now, would I be singing a different tune if most of these games in this stretch of 5 or whatever that are all night games, would I feel better if most of them were at home? Yes. Would it still concern me? Absolutely.
Yeah. And so how do you think this is going to go, man? Like I could see it going a couple different ways. Do you have a feeling of what this might be like? I'm trying to play the scenario in my mind. They're going to be hyped, man. Those people are going to drink all day. It is going to be loud in there, and Notre Dame's got to survive that moment.
Well, I remember last time we played at Louisville, and I think it was 2019, was also a night game. And I remember that game just being a total mess.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that was week 1. This is week, 7?
Yeah. No, you're right. And does Plummer scare you? Does Plummer scare you? Come on, man. Like, I know they have some other exciting athletes, but we beat this guy the last 2 years, and I wasn't overly impressed with him in either Purdue or Cal. They may be good, but I'm not. It ain't because of him that I'm scared.
He doesn't scare me, but what does concern me is the fact that he's seen a Marcus Freeman defense the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So he kind of knows our system. That's my big concern.
Yeah. And then you know what I do want to do? I want to make sure I respect Brohm. He's a good dude. And like the last caller said, he's been responsible for multiple upsets. He rises to the occasion in big game moments. It's all there for them. This is all about Notre Dame
he's
just
a
preventing it.
Coach.
It's all about Notre Dame preventing it.
When Kelly left, Brohm was on my list of, like, I mean, obviously I wanted Freeman, but Brohm was one of the ones on my list of, if Freeman gets hired somewhere else or we decide not to hire him, these are the guys I want. Brohm was on that list, and oh my gosh, who was the other one? Brohm, and just because it would be absolutely hilarious, Kiffin. Which now, looking at Ole Miss, I'm very happy we did not go and get Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin would not be a Notre Dame fit for like 98 reasons. His personality being number one. I love what he's turned into. His sarcasm is self-deprecating. I love his personality. Now he's matured a lot. It ain't a fit at Notre Dame, that's for sure. He does not have that polish Notre Dame wants.
No. Now, what I was really concerned about when USC fired Clay Helton, I was concerned they were going to go get Lane again. But that was a very real concern of mine.
I think that ship sailed. I Lane,
do too.
And you know what else? Lane ain't a Hollywood guy. He's a little too down to earth to be a Hollywood guy. It wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
He tried to fake. He tried to act like that was his world, and it really wasn't his world. Ole Miss is a good fit. And I believe Charlie Weiss's kid is still the OC, right?
I believe so, yeah. And I was scared we were going to go get him just because of the name. And I didn't want that just because of how much pain his dad put us all through.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's schematic advantage.
A buddy of mine is, I don't know if he's an assistant or manager or what he is at Ole Miss. And he was telling me the other day that Lane is very happy at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I bet he is.
He likes the fit, and he's a great fit there. Now, would I have liked it if he would have beat Alabama? Of course.
Yeah.
Now, back to the Louisville game.
Yeah, what do you got, man? Walk me through this. What's the keys to the game, in your opinion?
Offensively, you have to get the run game going.
Yep.
Get the ball to Estimate. Get the ball to Price. Get the ball to Love. Get the run game going. Defensively, you have to be on your toes because Brohm is going to throw everything in the house and the kitchen sink at you.
Yep.
He's going to do flea flickers. He's going to do fake punts. He's going to do halfback pass. He's going to do all sorts of things to try and catch you off guard. And you need to be on your toes if you're the Notre Dame defense.
Yeah, nope, you're absolutely right about that.
Because I remember you would talk about when he beat Ohio State. I watched that game, and I was shocked at the amount of trick plays. And because from what I remember, Purdue didn't run a whole lot of trickery. But I was very surprised that he did that. Now, looking back on it and looking at what he's done in the past, that doesn't surprise me at all because, and that's what a good coach does. A good coach will draw up trickery and draw up plays specifically for one game.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Now,
I want to see some action. I need Notre Dame to succeed in this moment from the beginning. I'm not in the mood for another one of these 4-quarter nightmares. I just don't want to do it.
No,
I can't do it again.
And if this game comes down to the wire, like the last two games have, I don't think I'm going to have any hair come Monday.
Well, I'm already losing mine. You got a prediction on the score, buddy? What do you got here? Give it to me.
I think it's going to be a close-ish game. I'm thinking probably a 10-point game. I want to say something like 35-14.
Cool. I love that.
Would be nice. But knowing how things go, it's going to be more like 14-24 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, enjoy the
We'll see
weekend.
tomorrow.
Yep, we'll see. Hey, thank you for the call, man. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Have a good one, Johnny.
Take care. All right, we got a few chatters that donated that I need to make sure to get here in a row. And it's 361-385-808. Those are the ones that donated that I saw. Anybody else, I'll get you in for sure. 361, what's going on?
What's up, John? How are you?
I'm okay, man. I'm
not good, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm starting to get like now that we're over an hour in, I'm starting to adjust and I'm kind of used to it. So I'm a little less worked up. And I'm still largely distraught, but I'm making it. Well, what do you think about all this, Mike? I need Notre Dame to trend back up. And I just need to see it. And I'm not open to anything else but that.
Well, you know, when I looked at this game, focusing strictly on Louisville versus Notre Dame, not Sam Hartman versus Wake Forest, not Jack Plummer versus Notre Dame, none of those things because they don't matter. I can't get that through people's heads. But looking at Notre Dame versus Louisville, the things Louisville wants to do, Notre Dame's defense can stop. And more importantly, you go position by position. Notre Dame has faced a better version of everything that Louisville has offensively.
Yeah.
And that worked out for Notre Dame's benefit. But to the last thing you just said, it's about the offense because 14-21, you've been saying it all week.
Nope.
It's not good enough.
Mike, is it not fair for me to acknowledge and credit both Ohio State and Duke's defenses to say that they are two of the top 10 defenses in the country, and I believe that and all that, and also think Notre Dame needed to score more, should have scored more, and it's a red flag to me that they didn't. I believe both of those could be true right along together.
Yes, exactly. That's the other part of it is it seems to be thought that Ohio State and Duke are Tennessee State and Central Michigan when it comes to their defensive talent, abilities, coaching, etc. It does have to be better, but can we acknowledge that we faced two top 20 defenses in back-to-back weeks and things happen? Like, is that allowed or no?
Yeah.
You know, so you look at this week, I feel maybe Parker and Freeman and Gaduli, all the offensive minds that are involved with what we're doing need to let things loose a little bit. I don't know if we're trying to keep things as concealed as possible by simply just running it heads up.
But why did you get Hartman then? Why did you get Sam Hartman then? Like, what is the purpose if you are not going to try and maximize his skill set? I don't understand why he's here then. If you wanted to run the boring Tommy Rees, straightforward, whatever, you could do that. There's no reason for Hartman to be here. Let me ask you this, man. You're telling me in the last two games there wasn't room to take one deep shot down the seam in both games where you have Tyree run as fast as he can like he did against Central and Hartman throws a bomb and it's either incomplete or a touchdown or a chunk play? You're telling me there wasn't room to do that in either of these last two games? Why is Hartman here then? I don't understand why he's here if you're not even going to try that. What's the point?
Well, the issue I have with it is they did try it, and it was there. But again, is it this mindset of outthinking yourself before the defense outthinks you? Because the ball to Merriweather that went off his fingertips, got to make the catch. But that was there. What? Why did? Okay, well, it didn't work that time, so I guess can't do it again. The push off to Merriweather. Back to Merriweather, got to catch the ball.
Merriweather is so frustrating, Mike. Mike, it's so frustrating. It's just such a damn struggle to just do the basic stuff. Like, it's so frustrating watching it. It's really getting to me.
I know, and I don't want to focus on him, but I'm using those two plays because those were what the plays we're looking for from Hartman, and they're there. Now, is Hartman getting in his own head like, hey, these dudes aren't going to catch it, so why am I going to throw it? I don't know. So looking at last week compared to this week in terms of what we can do, should do, etc., we got to get guys like Jeremiah Love on the outside. You know, the up the middle estimate is great. If it's not there, transition like the caller before Benny was talking about. Why were we not adjusting to what Duke was doing? We have two more than capable tight ends. They have proven themselves, Stays and Evans. Why are we not running double tight end pass routes? I'm lost on that. That makes no sense, especially when you're thin at wide receiver.
Yeah.
There's little things that don't make sense. And I said it today, this morning before I had my conference call. Why are we not maximizing our personnel? We're 6 games into the season. It's no longer try to keep things a secret. We've played Ohio State. We've played Duke. Now we got Louisville. Next week is USC. Let's maximize our personnel and what they're good at instead of what seems to be not doing that.
Yeah. You know what? One big question I have is when you know you're entering a game and all your wide receivers are laid up and laid out, not able to play, and you know it's going to be a problem. Why aren't you getting all those skilled running backs more involved in the passing game to try and give you a different look and a different option to make up for some of that production? Get the ball. You can't get the ball to Love in space on short passes 3 or 4 or 5 times a game and see what happens. Like, I just think there's a lot of stuff you could do that they're not doing, and we actually have guys that can do it now. Diversify, adjust, diversify. Not impressed with Parker. Got to see a lot better stuff this week. Got to see it.
Yeah. And the argument you could possibly make is, well, you know, we've got this ridiculous scheduling snafu where we're going to Ireland, then we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever night games in a row and all this. So you don't want to wear anybody out. Okay. That might make sense if it applied. You can point to the running backs for that, but how many routes and plays were our receivers on the field? You could have easily diversified that by using the running backs more. Price didn't have a freaking touch last week. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Like when you try to rationalize it and think what they're thinking, you don't come to a logical conclusion. Because if you're arguing trying to save their legs and save their bodies, okay, that applies to the running backs. But what about the receivers? When you were down 3 receivers and then you just tried out the same receivers, play in, play out, do they not have the same issue? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, in no scenario did I want to sit there the last 2 weeks and go, bro, the more of both of these 2 games I see, the more this feels like a Reese Kelly, boring, straightforward, predictable, non-electric, non-explosive offense, and I hate it. That's where I was last week, man. I'm going, every week we go now, we're reverting more to look like Reese, where we're shrinking the field and playing in a little box, and it's predictable, and I know at home what's coming, so does the defense. We don't do anything about it, run right into it. I hate it.
Yeah, our defense is doing so much, and it's got to be frustrating. Like, I wanted to hear the Al Golden headset call where he's yelling at Freeman and Parker and whoever to do your effing job and stop putting my defense walking the plank every freaking weekend.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
How many times is the defense going to bail you out?
Yeah. And you know what else? If you're going to start showing us the coach's audio, you don't just get to do it in a good time. Show me the coach's audio from Ohio State and let me hear who couldn't count right. Sorry about that. That was not directed at you, Mike. That was not directed at you, but you're the one I'm talking to. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you.
No,
that was not at you.
No, I love it. I love it. That's why I've been talking to you for the number of years I have. But this week, I do think we see a offense that we saw 4 straight games and 40-plus points.
Yeah.
I think it's there. I don't want to talk about Hartman versus Louisville while he's at Wake, but maybe internally he's got a little bit of that in him. But he's not going to have to do, like the one caller said, he's not going to have to do the things he did at Wake Forest to win.
And you know what else, Mike, too? Here's the other thing. If you're on Twitter like I am all the time, you notice the NC State fans did this same thing where they brought up his earlier struggles against them and, it's going to happen again and all that. And I actually feel like that motivated Hartman to make sure it wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? Because they were doing the same thing going, look at when he made the mistakes against us before. We're in his head. It didn't happen then, and I don't expect it to happen now. But Notre Dame needs to put together a cleaner offensive operation. So what do you think this looks like, Mike? How does this game play out? What are you feeling, man? What do you think?
Okay. So the number one, I'll give my prediction, then I'll explain it. So I think Notre Dame wins 34-17. And here's why. I don't think our defense, based on what Louisville has, they ran for 20 yards against North Carolina State. Okay? Let's put that out there right now. They ran for 20 yards, 0.2 yards a carry. I don't see how Jack Plummer, if they're running for that against NC State, what are they going to do against us? You're going to put it all on Jack Plummer? I don't see it. I don't think they get to 20 points. There's no way they get to 20 offensively from Louisville. I do think I want to believe Notre Dame and their offensive mindset has learned. We've learned. So I'd love to see them get to 40. The issue I have with that idea is I think that requires a fully healthy Greathouse and a fully healthy Thomas, and I don't know that they're there yet. So that still puts us closer to the 30-point number, and I landed on 34. It might be 30-17, but I think 34-17.
There you go.
Either way, Notre Dame covers. We can all be happy.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't even remember what I did yesterday, but I'm pretty sure my prediction in the USA Today was right about around there too. That's what I wanted. Maybe 31-20, 34-20, I think is what I went with, something in that ballpark. So I don't know, Mike, but nothing gets easier for Notre Dame. And this is a grind. We knew it would be a grind. It's even more intense of a grind. And we just need to get through it. You got to power through this one and then get ready for what comes after it. Anything on the way out, Mike? Thanks for the donation, brother.
Oh, of course, man. I love it. The last thing I'll say is I do have the kids this weekend. We're busy. I want to make the post-game show, but I might be tied up with my 500 bookmarks that I have to reply to.
Oh, I know.
So
I'm doing that too. I'm doing that too. And unlike the last time I did that, which was for Ohio State, I better be able to use them this time. Damn it, Mike.
Exactly.
Do you know how mad it is? Do you know how mad it is to bookmark that shit and come back and realize you don't get to use it? It makes me sweat. I get so mad.
That made me more mad than actually losing the game in some aspects.
Yeah, I know. It's rough, man. But hey, have a good weekend with you and the family. Enjoy the game. Hopefully we take care of business and then we could get into the circus. That'll be the week after it, man. Have a good one, buddy.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
You too.
Dude, who is this dork that lives in his mom's basement that just came out of nowhere to troll me? What are you doing? My name is Sean Ramsey, and I am ranked 4,767 in the Fortnite Nerd Championship Series. And when I am not playing Fortnite, I like to hang out with my AI girlfriend. She is my support system, and she loves me very, very much. you guys suck because Ohio State rules because my mom told me that. And now I live in her basement and I tweet and I put mean messages for other fan bases on the internet and I troll them with my photo that looks like I just got arrested. And Chris Hansen said, why don't you have a seat over there? Anything else? 385, make it come alive. What's going on? Welcome to the show.
John, good to hear you again, man.
Hey, it's just good to be upright. It's good to be here. I'm struggling with the red today, but I'm trying to make the best of it, make it entertaining at least. What's going on?
You know, every time I call you, you hang with, man, I love that guy. He's got a lot of energy. I'm Mexican Irish, bro. I got the best of both fighters.
I like that, man. I like that. You know what, dude? There is actually a nice little community of that. If you know, like spread out with Notre Dame, there really is. And in some ways it makes sense, man. I don't know if it's like the Catholic thing or what it is, but like there is a group of that and I like it.
No, it is. And you know, like I tell you, sometimes I get a little off subject, so I apologize. But I love the Irish, man. I love your show. I love to hear what the people say. But you know, I really think that we're making a bigger deal than what it is. I can understand being concerned as far as the offense not putting up the 40-some points, but you know, the Domer guy 88 right here put like we need these games after the Ohio State loss, right? Because Ohio State was really a test. We didn't see was it going to be a moral victory again? Were we really going to play them? I mean, granted, 10 men on the field, one play doesn't win or lose a game, but in that scenario, I guess you could say it did, right? But I mean, I think really that these coaches are going to make the adjustments they need. You know.
No, wait.
Do, man.
That's where I'm getting held up. I want to see Parker make some adjustments this week to put the offense in a more explosive position to be able to score more and build us a margin or whatever, and at least look a little more diverse and whatever. That's what I'm anxious to see is them doing that and adjusting. You're confident we're going to see it? Because I'm not, and I need to see it.
No, I do, but I also, you know, like I said, it's everybody brings their A game against Notre Dame, like we talked last time the other day. I am confident that it's going to happen. I think they'll make the adjustments. The only thing that does concern me is that we're going back to the Michael Mayer hero ball, where we all know we got one athlete. We're going to ground and pound for a minute, but we know that it's going to go to Michael Mayer, right? We knew last year. We knew that's who a true prime was going to target first, Michael Mayer. Like with Mitch Evans coming back and making those big plays, I think we do got to utilize Rico Flores, Chris Tyree, Braden Jadenhouse. And you know what? Jaden Thomas, he's a beast of a wide receiver, man. He really is. He made that amazing catch against BYU. And remember, those Mormons, they came out deep. You were in BYU's backyard. Even though it was a home game for the Irish, BYU travels deep. And you know, I think Jaden Thomas has made some good plays, bro. And as long as Sam Hartman can utilize those other weapons with Gerald Parker making those calls, of course, like you're saying, I think we're going to be just fine, man. I really do.
Yeah, I'm open to that, man. I'm open to that. And I don't believe that Louisville's defense is near what Duke and Ohio State's is. I think Notre Dame should be able to run the ball, and then hopefully that opens some things up. Because I respect them at 5-0, but I don't believe their defense is near what Ohio State and Duke's are. So I think Notre Dame should be in a better spot to take advantage. Get that running game going. Give Love some early carries. See if he can pop one. I want to see it.
Amen. I agree with you. Give Love some carries. Give those youngsters some carries. You know, if Audrey's getting a little tired, give him a breather. I agree with you 100%. And I hate to always keep backtracking back to what you say. We are suffering from Kelly's fucked up recruiting. Oh, sorry, Don.
Yeah.
We are suffering from those bad recruiting. You know, at wide receiver.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And it showed last week, man. That's the whole point of it. It's like, John, why can't you just let Kelly go? Well, if you would quit ruining my life, I would love to. His failure is the reason we had no healthy bodies at wide receiver last week. His failure. Having a class where you sign one wide receiver is criminal. He should be
Right.
in Indiana
Yes.
State Pen for that. Criminal recruiting.
Yes,
It's criminal. It's dereliction of duty.
I agree with you, man. But you know what? I hear everybody about the offense. You know, I've seen our big back make a play when he needed to at the end of the game. I've seen our quarterback take his leadership skills and put his shoulder down, man, and get that first down, not to make the same mistakes. I've seen the young Rico Flores make a big time play on a 2-point conversion and to keep the drive alive. People forget that now. We're focusing so much about let's score 40, let's score 40. But when the call was made, they answered it. And here's the thing: our defense is held solid in the last 2 weeks.
Yep, you're
Now,
right
people
about
can
that.
say-
Yeah, you're right about that.
Other Irish fans can rip me, and I'll tell them, hey, look, John, I grew up real rough. I've done prison time. Take a number if you want to line up against this Mexican Irishman. Take a number. But anyways, people forget.
Dude, I love that, man. I love that, man.
Like I tell you, I got the fire. I got the fire of the Irish and the fury of the Mexicans, both. So, like I tell you, our defense has played solid. You know, emotionally tired. You know, they made their plays. The youngsters, like even against Ohio State, like it wasn't where like they came and romped on us. What Irish fan doesn't want to see us get over the hump on Ohio State? Every other one, right? I agree. But dude, everybody's so overshining the lack of points for how great the defense has played.
Yeah, well, but that's the problem. That's why it's frustrating, though, man. When the defense does keep you in the big games, the offense has to score enough to take advantage, or you take the credibility of the whole thing down. That's why it's frustrating. Notre Dame's done a great job on the point output allowed to Ohio State the last 2 years, and the offense couldn't do anything to help it. And it keeps me up at night.
Agreed. But like I said, last week, what did we see on that last play? You heard, and I heard your post on you don't like, and I agree to a point. There shouldn't be cameras everywhere, right? There shouldn't be cameras everywhere. But you know what? I like the fact that we see those coaches stay calm. They knew they were confident. They were confident in the young men.
Well, now wait a second. Wait. Let me be clear. I loved hearing it. It was very entertaining, and I loved hearing it. That's different than me saying I just shouldn't hear it. Like, I'm not saying I didn't like what they were saying. I'm just saying I don't think I should have access to what they're saying. Those are different things.
No, okay, you're right. Like I said, I listened to your thing for a minute, and I agree. There shouldn't be access to seeing everything. I agree with you right there. There is some things like, hey, we shouldn't hear those things because, of course, this is Notre Dame, right? And it's coaching, but, I enjoyed hearing it because, like I said, they stayed confident. They stayed, poised. They made happen what needed to happen. And, like I tell you, a young receiver making a big time play when needed. Our big back, man, making a play when needed. Our leader, like your previous college to go, he said at Wake Forest, Hartman didn't have to, he didn't have these weapons. He wasn't in panic mode. He was in panic mode, in a sense. And our leader, man, seen where the 4th and 16 was and got the first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, bro, just like you, hey man, I want to have a heart attack when I see a game like that too. But when I see him come out, even against the Ohio State game, I was like, but you know what? We're just gonna be just fine. For me, it was more so like, again, Ohio State, man, really, that's what it was more like. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to, punch a hole in the wall, but that's what I seen. I seen our premier back make a play. I seen a young, I seen our big time tight end make a play. I seen a young receiver, step up when he needed to, and our leader, man, like move forward. And so for me, I'm confident going into Louisville. And not only that, after that, I see a young defense or Howard Cross come in and let them know, hey man, they answered the call, so we're gonna answer the call. And they had a turnover. I mean, granted, to what's his name, the kid from Duke Riley. Yeah. You don't want to see any young athlete get hurt. You really don't, man.
Yeah, especially
they're young,
especially at the end of the
life.
game. That was brutal. I feel for him. Yeah.
Yeah, they're young men, man. They're gonna try to figure their lives here in a few years. I got a daughter that's 25 years old, and she's still trying to figure it out. She played basketball, so I don't like to see that. But you know what? But the young men answered the call. The defense delivered. The offense answered the call, and they came and knocked it down. And with that, man, I think we're good, John. I think we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be good.
I like when you call, man. You have a different energy. I like when you call, dude. Keep calling, man. I like it. You provide a different energy in here. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Anything on the way out? I appreciate the donation, brother.
Hey, John. Oh yeah, you know what, John? I appreciate you. Like I said, I'm in the middle of Salt Lake City. I'm in the Mormon country. I have to stay positive on the Irish, man.
Yeah.
I'm the salty Irishman, baby.
There you go. Hey, if you want, I'll create I'll create you a shirt in the store, the Mexican Irish Brigade or something. I'll come up with something good for you, man.
Hey, I love that, man. John, we got a great game this weekend, buddy. Go Irish.
Go Irish, man. Have a good one. Dude, this dude's energy is amazing. I love that guy's energy, just the way he's worked up. I love it. Just the way he delivers. It's like right up my alley. Sean here is still here for reasons I can't understand. Notre Dame had nightmares every year about Bush push. Oh, wait, the Ohio State game. Sean thinks he's trolling me by repeating words I've actually said. That's like, you're not good at this. You're not good at this. Like, it's not a troll for you to repeat the words I said. Earlier in the show, I said, I used to have nightmares every night about Bush push. Now it's Ohio State. This guy thinks he's trolling me by saying the same thing I said myself. Let me be very clear. You're not good at this. You're just not. It's not a skill set you have. It doesn't come naturally. You're not a good troll. Stop. Like, go back to bullying people on online video games with your little headset. This isn't for you. You're not good at it. You're not good at it, man. Like, being a good troll in this environment is like being a good linebacker. You either have the instincts or you don't. And if you don't have the instincts, you're never going to be that great at it. You don't. You're bad at this. Like, I love a good troll. You're not one, though. You're not good at it. It doesn't come naturally to you. You're trying too hard. There's nothing creative. There's nothing funny. You're not good at this. There is an art to trolling properly. It is an art form, and you got to have the right instincts for it. It's got to be deep down in you to be that kind of guy. You ain't that guy. You're not good at it. You're not good at it. You're bad at this. You're bad at this. If you want to keep doing it, go for it, but you need lessons. You're not good at trolling. You're failing. You're bad. 808, let's make it great. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, John.
What's up?
Hey, John, so I saw your video about the bye week, and I disagreed it at the moment, but then upon doing further research, I saw, look at this. On the week of October 9th to the 13th, we have midterms week at Notre Dame. And then the USC game is the 14th. We're going to have some visit time game. Like, the point of the bye week at the middle of the semester is so that the players can actually take their fall break. However, like, I never remembered having saw that the big game is after the midterms. Like, you're okay, I'm resting after midterms, right?
Yeah.
But like, then, like, I'm already tired. Like, the point of the rest is after the game, not before the game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's tough for me though, because like that side is different than the physical side. Like, there's two different tracks here, like having your mind right and getting your schoolwork right and all that. And then I don't like the idea that our guys are getting beat up for 7 weeks with no break before you play your arch rival. I just don't like that. You're setting your guys up in a rough spot. That's all.
No, I mean, I think you didn't get me. Because, like, I agree with that. Like, what's the point of having a bye week after USC? after Clemson. Like they should come before, like the November bye week. They should have moved that one earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then why do we have the bye week after midterms week?
Yeah.
Like
I
the
don't know.
bye week should be like the week of the like that 14th game against USC. That day should be the bye week, so that the players could get their minds right and bodies right. Because I remember when I was a student, like after midterms week, like you're sleep deprived.
Yeah,
and
you're
you
drained.
barely could
Yeah,
run,
like
you
your
barely could
brain's
live.
kind of burned out, right?
Exactly, you're burned out. So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have some this against USC. Why do we do that to us? Like we make it purposely harder.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. Now, I get it. They wanted to go to Dublin, and I understand that had something to do with the timing on that. And I get it. Listen, it is what it is, and Notre Dame must overcome, and that is their job to do. But I just felt like an obligation to say how rare that is for you to literally have 8 weeks in a row and 4 or 5 undefeated ranked teams in there. I mean, that is brutal. But those are the cards Notre Dame got dealt. You got to win games.
Yeah, I mean, it was imposed on itself. Like, ideally, if there was like a week -1, we could have like played in Ireland in week -1 instead of week 0.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no such thing. There's already week 0 for that.
Yeah, it's just kind of rough. And so I don't know, man. I want to see now if Notre Dame can beat Louisville and then play well and beat USC, then I'll feel good about the bye because you will have gotten over that hump, and then everybody can really get rejuvenated and take a break heading into that final third of the season. And I get that. It's just, this is a rough run, man. You got these 8 games in a row, and over half of them are against really, really tough teams.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, like we're judging after the fact. And then the decision should be judged before the outcome. Like high probability event of failure, and we succeed. We still should have thought of everything that led to that as a failure in itself. Like sometimes we get carried away with a win when in reality there was stuff that shouldn't have been done. Like for example, the Duke game, like the last drive, like they posted that 2-minute video, right? And they were all proud of it. If people are like Parker may be proud, or the players may be, the team may be proud. I'm concerned because like you see it, and Parker in 4-16, he's like celebrating, like oof, relieved. So like, you didn't plan it. Like you were saved by Hartman, and then in the last run, like go back to the video. He doesn't say let's run. Because when I saw that run with Estim, I was like, oh, we learned our lesson from Ohio State. We move forward. Nope. He said, should we run? Should we pass? I mean, not in that word, but he said, should we run? Should we pass? Like he's putting doubt. He's asking. He's the passenger. When I'm at work in the ship, whenever the captain comes, when we're like struggling, he saves the day. Like, oh, captain's coming. We're good. I don't see that from Parker. Like the player had to put the game in their shoulders and do it themselves. What's the point of having the coordinator then?
Man, listen, I want to be open and I want to be fair to Parker. I want to respect the good defenses we're facing. I want to do all of those things. I just need more this week. I need more diversification. I need a little more motion. I need a little more confusion. I need more guys moving around. I need more efficiency. I need you to present some different looks. Notre Dame looks really predictable right now, and I hate it. I just hate it, man. Keeps me up at night.
Yep. And then do you know who's really flexible to make like adjustments for specific games? Go to last year USC game. They had Caleb Williams kicking because he wanted to neutralize our special teams because they were so good. Like they were willing to do things like out of the box. I don't see that from us.
Yeah. Nope. Got Manny, don't do this to me, Manny.
I'm in punt, not field goal.
Sorry, yep. Somebody said a chat that triggered me. But anyways, so what do you think happens this week, man? I share your concerns. I need to see more efficiency on the offensive side of the ball. What do you think happens if you had to guess how this plays out?
I mean, I would just say, like, statistically, we're not going to be as efficient as we have to. We're still going to score more than 30. Louisville's going to score less than 20. But it's going to be a mirage. Because, like, we're going to see what we saw, like, the first 4 games, and then not what we saw in the last 2. But then against USC, I'm still concerned because I just don't trust offensive coordinator in here. Like, look at the field goals, 50% effectiveness.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
fourth
the
down
other
is
thing.
75%.
That's the other thing. Notre Dame's got to be a 4-down team. I do not trust the field goal kicker. The misses are not even close. And you have one job, and it's to make kicks. And if you're less than a coin flip good at it, I cannot trust you. If I'm Parker, I'm building out 4-down plays because I cannot trust that guy. And he's already cost us maybe a game because we needed those points against Ohio State. Hate it. Hate it.
Yep. And
Hey.
then lastly, like my last point would be like on December 2020, it's like we had 3 commitments. You had Tobias Merriweather, Amarion Walker, and CJ Williams. Like, because you had like a 3 wide receiver rule in each class, right? We lost 2 out of like all that trouble with Kelly leaving and stuff. All right, we're paying for that right now. I mean, Tobias Merriweather really, is he like adding or subtracting? At this point, I feel like he's just really a body.
Man, well, it's tough.
You had,
But it's tough, man, because you don't really have anywhere else to go because you don't have the numbers. Even if you wanted to do something because you're not getting the production, you don't think his head's wired right or wherever it needs to be. You don't even have that luxury. It's a real struggle, man. It's rough.
Yep. I mean, and at this point, I mean, at least the one silver lining I saw from that situation was, okay, we lost of those 2 targets we had. We only ended with 1. Then like Alexander stayed a year, and then Chanton Stuckey came. So, I mean, I see Coach Freeman making the change and firing people so that he can improve stuff. So at least, hopefully, next year, we are not in the same offensive coordinator thing because change has to be made.
Hey, listen.
I mean,
whoa, buddy, you're on my path. I am not there yet. I am going to give him chances. Now that we're done with the best 2 defenses we're going to play all year, I want to be open-minded about seeing this trend back up in the way I want, but it can't look anything like the last 2 weeks. Hate it. Not good enough. Not good enough at all.
Yep, exactly. And then on the defense side of the ball, every time we beat USC, it's out of turnovers, and we don't have those. So, I mean, more concern to the fire, I guess.
There you go. Hey, man, thanks a lot for the call. I'm glad you've been in the mix lately. It's fun, man. Keep calling, okay?
All right, see you.
Thank you. Dude, it's just so cool to have somebody go. You know, when I'm at work and things go wrong on the ship, like, I just don't know a lot of people who work on a ship, dude. I live in Illinois. I don't know anybody that works on a damn ship except for my relatives that were in the Navy, like Grandpa Kennedy with Frank Leahy in the Navy and my Uncle Kevin in the Navy in the 80s or whatever. Like, I don't know, bro. Oh, man. Oh, boy. 937, what's going on? I got 618 to finish the show after that. What up, 937?
Hey, John, it's your favorite Buckeye fan. How are you?
Oh, I bet you're loving this today, aren't you, buddy?
You know, at least the one thing you can say that's good about Woody Hayes is that back when Ara Parseghian was your coach, Woody Hayes was one of your top recruiters because anybody that wasn't interested in Ohio State but maybe Michigan, he would always push them towards Notre Dame. So,
yeah, there you go.
And
you know what I'll say about it, man, is like, I knew this was going to happen. And then like, I realized I was going to have to do all this, but you know how I am. I'm like, dude, I'll find a way to make this into golden content. Like, so I could use it that way.
This is awesome. Yeah, I love it.
You know,
I love it.
And you got to be a man of your word. Like, I'd be a bitch if I just got upset about how this game ended and then like blocked the Ohio podcast guy, never talked to them and refused to do it. Like, you got to do it. So here I am.
Right. Now, with the USC fan, it might be a little different. But let's see here. I got a couple of quick things for you. First thing, let's just talk about the Louisville game. I think Notre Dame wins this going away. I think they'll win like 27-13, something like that.
Dude, there's a lot of the media on Louisville. There's a lot of the media on Louisville, and those people running their mouths. And there are some national guys riding Louisville. So if you have Notre Dame by that margin, build that out for me. Is it Notre Dame? You think their defense is suspect, or we're going to be able to hold them down? How would you see that playing out throughout the course of the evening?
Well, I mean, I recall last week Louisville had a hard time against North Carolina State, and Notre Dame's defense is a lot better than North Carolina State's defense. So, I think defensively you'll hold them down, and then offensively though, I think the game will be close, but you'll eventually get some ground game going as the game goes along, and you get a couple of scores that way. But I think you will continue to struggle if the receivers don't, man up and start playing a little bit better for Hartman. I think that's right now Notre Dame's Achilles heel.
I'm telling you, man, it's a big problem. There isn't the numbers. The guys that are out there are, trying to pick up the pace and get up to speed. You're relying. I don't think you want to be in a position where you have to rely on freshmen. Like, if they're good and you can, that's great.
Yeah.
But having to is different. Do you get what I mean? Right. Having to do that is not ideal. And the numbers are down. And then you had all of them out after getting beat up against you guys. And then there's no depth. Like, it's still a problem Notre Dame has to try and out-recruit, and it just takes a couple more years to do it.
Right. I agree with you. And, a guy like Rico Flores, I mean, Ohio State was kind of in on him if we lost a guy or two, and he was kind of like a prospect we were looking at. But the guys that we got, they've hardly played this year, and they're freshmen too. So it just, freshman receivers take a little bit of time to get used to the game.
We don't have that
and,
time. We don't have that time, bro. That's the issue. That's why Flores and Greathouse are out there as freshmen, because we literally don't have the bodies and we don't have the time. And they're trying the best they can. And then the guys in the class ahead of them, Merriweather's a head case who can't catch, and Colsey's out with the knee scope. We have nobody. That's why they used the tight end 80 times last week.
Right. Well, I do think that's going to be the Achilles heel for the team, but I do want to bring you some good news, though. So yesterday, the Big Ten released the schedules for like the next 5 years.
Oh, Michigan!
Michigan
got it. Yeah, baby, it's the payback for this year.
Yeah.
They got literally like
It
five tough, legitimately 4 or 5 really tough games next year. It's great, man. So they better win it all this year. They better win it all this year, because a lot of their talent's going to go to the league. Like, it's all hinging on this year with this week's schedule, because life gets real for them next year. And I love that you love it too, because so do I, damn it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh leaves after this year, because I'm looking at their schedule. So they already scheduled Texas out of conference, okay? Then they get USC. They get USC at home and Oregon at home, but then they got to go to Ohio State and to Washington.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy schedule.
I love it, man. Let them, and it's like they're already going, oh my God, look at this tough schedule. We're not used to that. Dude, welcome to my life every damn year, man. You guys got it made. So they better make some moves this year. So
they got to, or there's no way they're going to have 3 or 4. They're at least going to have 3 or 4 losses.
Hey, can I switch the subject on you for a moment and ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you having any thoughts in the back of your mind of you guys kind of sleepwalking, rolling out of this bye and having a tougher day than you want this week? Or do you just think the talent difference is so vast that will not happen? I'm not trolling. It's an honest question coming out of a bye.
No. It's a good question. I would say most years we normally do really well out of a bye. However, I will say, this year it seems like the reporters keep talking about the Notre Dame game, and it's like, guys, that's almost 14 days ago now.
Yeah,
we need to get ready for this team, and they're playing Maryland, who's really good. I got a little bit of a conundrum for you, John. So my cousin is the starting center for Maryland.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a big Buckeye fan. So I guess I'm playing it where I'm rooting for my cousin to do really well.
That's the
answer. His final year, he could potentially be drafted.
That's the answer.
But I want Ohio State to win.
No, that's the right answer. If it was me, I would say I still want you to lose, but I want you to win all your personal matchups. That's the way I would look at it is, the teams are the teams, but I want him individually to do good just as long as it doesn't pay off overall. That's the fairest way to do it, buddy.
Okay, that's how I'm rolling. I want Ohio State to win. I want it to be close. I'll let it be close. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But I want Ohio State to win because I like Maryland. My cousin plays for a team, but they really have no realistic shot of winning the whole thing. So
yeah.
So, yeah.
Nope. But hey, man, it'll be interesting. And there's a lot of big football games this week. That 11 a.m. window has a bunch of big games. Hoping to see Kelly get beat again. Like, I'm interested. You got Texas, Oklahoma. It's going to be another big week, man. Football fans are in for a treat this week. There's a lot of good games throughout the entire scheduling window. Anything else, man?
Hey, and to give your viewers real quick on my cousin who's the center, I just want to let all your Notre Dame fans know that his family is huge Notre Dame fans. So if you guys want to put your eyeballs and watch him play at center, feel free. He's actually a Notre Dame fan at heart. At least his family is.
Man, that's good to know. I hope
he just didn't quite get there.
I hope all those snaps are good. But I know how it is. You want him to do good, but you guys to win. But that certainly gives you an interesting angle on the game. Hey, man, thanks a lot for jumping in. I appreciate it. Enjoy the football weekend, buddy.
You too. Have a great weekend, and go Bucks, and good luck this weekend.
There you go. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. All right, I got time for a couple more real quick, and then I got to get out of here. 585, make it come alive. 618 is going to finish the show. What's going on, 585?
Hey, John, this is Jake. I've been a 3-year caller now. I'm calling since I was about 15 years old. Always been busy during the school week, but got Friday off today, so I just thought I'd hop on and talk some Irish football.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful, man. What do you make of where Notre Dame's at right now? Really difficult dynamics in the midst of a tough 4-game stretch. Louisville's trending up, all the momentum, home game at night. How does Notre Dame handle it?
They just got to be gritty like they did against Duke, man. I mean, everyone can say what they want about, the offensive line. I really think the offensive line didn't look great, but I just thought that was a gritty win and really showed what the Irish are this year and what they can be. I think they just got to do more of the same. I think Louisville is slightly overrated, to be honest. I mean, you look at the teams they played, a lot of close wins. I know they came back from behind to beat Georgia Tech, so I'd expect a blowout from Notre Dame, to be honest. They just got to play gritty like they had against Duke. I was actually at that game, and I mean, Sam Hartman just putting the team on his back is crazy. So overall, I think they just got to continue to do what they have been doing and, just ramp up going into USC. I really, really think you're right about the offense. We need to get that right going into USC because putting up 21 points is not going to be enough at all.
Yeah, and I know, listen, man, I understand that this team has to only focus on this week and winning this game. I am not the team. I am looking at a little bigger picture saying, even if we win, if the offense doesn't look way different than what we've seen the last half a month, I am super concerned about the rest of the year. And for however long Parker is the OC, you need more output that look like the first handful of games, not the last two. I want to see it trend back up, and it's got to start now, not against USC. It's got to start tomorrow.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone can say what they want about Duke and Ohio State being, top 5, top 10 defenses, but in modern college football, you got to be putting up more than a few touchdowns to win a ball game.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know what else that reminds me of? I am critical of certain things with Notre Dame's defense at times. I need more pressure. I need more quarterback hits. I need more havoc. I need more turnovers. The blitz schemes, I still don't understand why they don't work at efficiently, all of that. But at the end of those complaints, the number of points they give up every week is enough that Notre Dame should be able to win every game, even against the better teams we play. That's a good sign, but the offense has to do their part. And I didn't have a 16-year Hartman in here to be putting out 14 in the biggest game of the year. That can't be real life. I reject it.
Absolutely. I mean, I really was confused. I mean, you saw the first 2 plays of that Duke game. They let him sling it. I really don't understand why they went away from that again. It's just, that's why you brought this guy in, is to change the trajectory of where the offense can be at. And I just don't think they've been doing enough of that. I want to see that against Louisville.
Now,
for
let
sure.
me ask you this, and I struggle with this. This has been in my mind all week. Let me ask you, do you believe that this is genuinely the offense that they envision and want to run, and these are the schemes and the plays? Or do you think behind the scenes, Parker's like, bro, I don't have what I need to be able to run what I want to really ramp this up and take advantage of Hartman? I can't trust certain wide receiver. Like, I don't know. That's the question I have is this what they want to do? Or are we only seeing what they think they can do because of the limitations with some of the skill guys? I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, for the program's sake in the future, I sure hope it's because we don't have the talent we have right now, because if that's the offense they do want to run, that's just a whole nother box of questions that I think need to be answered, like what they're trying to do philosophically with the offense. But I'd imagine it'd be the wide receiver talent. I mean, especially with the injuries as of late. I would be shocked if this, I think they want to do more with the offense. I just don't think they have the wide receiver capability right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is rough. And they're working towards that, but it's another reason when people say, you know, you got to let the whole Kelly thing go. I will not until he quits ruining my life. Brian Kelly is one of the big reasons that wide receiver room is how it is, because of his gross incompetence and negligence on the job and allowing the people running that position group to not do anything right. So we're still digging out of that, and it's just nobody has the patience to wait. You got to win this game, and you got to beat USC, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think in a few years' time, we're going to be able to tell if that's, once Marcus is able to get those recruiting classes in with the wide receivers and everything, I think it'll really be able to show. But, I mean, for now, yeah, you got to fight. You got to find a way to win no matter what. I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, with the bye week and all that stuff, like it is what it is. But Notre Dame needs to find a way to win these games. It doesn't matter the circumstances that they're given or dealt.
Yep. And nobody else cares, man. That's our problem. Nobody else gives a shit. Like, that's our problem. Like, nobody cares. So you got to overcome it. It's rough dynamics. But you got to find a way. And I know they're still learning on the job by some of the players and the staff and all that. I get it. I know all that. Louisville's a big opportunity. Just start trending back in the right direction. Get up in the mid-30s or something, upper 30s in points. It'd make me feel a hell of a lot better going into the next game.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And then one more thing before I hop off the call. I just wanted to touch on this because I haven't heard a single person talk about this, but do you remember that punt that Tyree almost muffed, that almost cost us massive field position against Duke? And this gets back to the regression of special teams. I just cannot believe how much worse the special teams is this year. It's crazy. It's not even that we're getting blocked punts and stuff. It's we're making simple mistakes just with the kicking and the muff punts. It's ridiculous. And that's the kind of thing when you're going into USC and Ohio State where maybe the offense isn't as great, but if your special teams is on, you can get a few of those. You can flip a few of those drives in your favor. And
unacceptable regression. Unacceptable regression.
Unacceptable.
The coverages are not great. The kick returns are almost non-existent. You're not blocking any kicks, and you can't make field goals that I can trust you. That is not good. You're in a bad spot, and it's regression, and I'm upset over it, man.
I totally agree.
Hey,
I totally agree.
Listen, I really appreciate you calling me on that off day for school. Anything on the way out? What else you got, man?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Just want to thank you. Like I said, I've been a 3-year listener. Totally love the show. I'm going to be calling in more for sure. I'll probably be calling in after the Louisville game. To brag if we win or cry if we lose.
Perfect.
So that's about it, man.
That's what it's there for. Enjoy your day off, man, and have a good one, buddy. Give me a call back in the post game.
Totally. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. What a nice guy. 618. Let's finish it off, man. You've been soaking it all in. What do you make of all this today?
Man, I think we're going to do some good things against Louisville, man. I want to give a prediction, man. I want to say last couple of weeks I said 38-24, and man, they've been low-scoring games. But I don't think Louisville defense is good. as the last two defenses we saw.
No
man.
way. Me neither. Me neither. And if I don't see us take advantage of it, it's going to be a huge red flag, man. That's going to freak me out. You got to look better on O this week.
I mean, the defensive line actually stepped up last week, man, especially in the time especially when we truly needed it, they stepped up. You know, I hate to see the kid Riley get hurt or whatever, but man, the defensive line actually stepped up and did what they had to do, man. He's going to have to just say, you know what, I'm going to allow. The reason why I believe that our defensive line is not getting pressure because he keeps blitzing, man. And, you know, that's hurting the defensive line, man. We're going to have to just let the defensive line rush the 4, rush the 3, whatever we rushing, and just let them loose and let them do what they do, man.
Yeah, I just, man, it's just interesting. Like, and then I don't know what to make of like that 13-10 game with NC State and Louisville. I'm like, is that really good defense or inefficient offense? Like, I don't know, but there's no way Louisville's D is what Duke and Ohio State is. I refuse to think that. They're not at the same level of consistency to me.
And I think Duke head coach is probably the best defensive coordinator that we probably going to see all season. Duke might got the best defense. I mean, including Ohio State, the better defense that we probably see all season. Man, I just, man, we got to put up points. We got to put up points, man. We got to at least take at least 2 to 3 chances down the field, man. That's my biggest concern. I don't care how many receivers you got. Nobody's going to respect you if you're not trying to push it downfield. And I'm sorry, man. You're not even trying to push it downfield.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I get more diverse this week. Spread it out a little bit. Have a little creativity. Why don't we ever have any motion? Why don't we ever have anything? There's just, it's boring. It got predictable last week. It got very predictable. I just didn't like it.
And I don't understand why they don't put Sam Hartman under center and run play action. You know, the shotgun is cool, but it's only good if you got a running threat. You know what I'm saying? He's not a running threat. Put him up under center, let him do some play action, and, man, get it downfield to either your tight ends or your receivers.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but this is a big damn week. This is a big week. You have got to get right with what's coming your way to be trending up for USC. Like, I want these guys feeling good about themselves, putting up good numbers, come off another big road win, and then we build that emotional ramp into next week.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say, man, that the Irish win, man, 45-21, man. I mean, I think they put up 45 this week. They get it back on track. We exposed Louisville defense, man. And I think the defense shows up big. And, man, he got it. Just like, man, dude, if you're not going to push it downfield, Jared Parker, man, we don't need you at Notre Dame, man. I'm sorry, man. We don't need you at Notre Dame.
It needs to be the next step. And it's just a matter of, I know the wide receiver dynamic isn't great and it's limiting, but you still need to try and diversify a little more than what they are. I understand the limitations, but you need to try to do more things to be a little less predictable. So I don't know, man, but if we get in the 40s, I'm thrilled. Even in the 30s would be an upgrade over what we've been seeing.
And I'm like, man, if maybe this the week that Merriweather actually get going, man. You know, I don't believe in their DBs, man. I don't believe in their DBs. Maybe this the week that he get going. I'm hoping and praying that this is the week that he get going because I really want to see the kids succeed, man. You know, everybody ain't a Jalen Greathouse and everybody ain't a Rico Flores, but, man, I really want to see him get going, but if you don't get going this week, man, dude, I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble if you don't. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it, man, because it goes down a dark alley at that point. We turn down a dark alley if you don't.
I listen to the other guys on different shows make excuses for him. I'm not making no excuse because I was in the trenches, man. You got to get going. You got to get going. And if you can't get going, we'll get somebody else that get going. And everybody keeps saying that Braylon James ain't ready. He's the same type of receiver that Merriweather is. So if he's not ready, we looking at Merriweather every single week. To me, Merriweather's not ready.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This is a big pivot week. It's a big pivot week. And you just put together a good game plan, open up this offense a little bit, play your good defense, shut down that crowd, and get a win. And then we build up next week to be what it's going to be, which is another huge moment and a big opportunity. Anything else, my friend? I'm about to wrap it up. I appreciate you.
Man, like I say, the final score, man, Notre Dame 45, Louisville 21.
Woo! I would love that, getting in the 40s, man. Hey, have a good one and give me a call after, okay?
All right, man.
Have a good one. Man, he's always got something for me. Crying Belly. I love that as soon as ND lost a game, this channel becomes we don't have the talent soap opera. Always excuse making, kicking the can down the road. This is somehow BK and Reese's fault. Yeah, by somehow, I mean multiple years of undeniable, inexcusable, horrible, bottom of the barrel, not even Power 5 recruiting of wide receiver. Crying. That's the answer. It wasn't 1 year. It was not 2 years. Multiple years of downright awful recruiting, development, scouting, and retention is having a direct impact on how Notre Dame looks now. Does that mean it's okay to lose? No. Does that mean it's okay to not put up good numbers and make what you have work? Absolutely not. We are in the position we're in at wide receiver because of Brian Kelly's incompetence and what he allowed the assistants to do, which is not do anything. Okay? So, no, that is not, doesn't make it, well, let's see. What do we got? Doesn't matter if we have good receivers. Freeman's still going to emphasize not turning the ball over and running up the middle to keep it close. I got to see that before I know that. I got to see that before I know that. If you give me Ohio State skill talent, what would this offense be shaped like? I want to know. I want to know. And again, like, we don't know because we haven't seen the other side of it. If you give me Ohio State's wide receiver stuff, let me see what that looks like. But that's not what we have. So I don't know, man. I want to see, why didn't we hit the portal for a wide receiver? We did. And then the guy, it didn't work. He got injured or left, right? We did go to the portal and got the Virginia Tech guy, Smith, and then he ain't even on the team. Something happened there. He either got injured or something. So I don't know, man. But they're working towards flipping that wide receiver room. Cam Williams might be their best wide receiver day one, week one next year. Freshman, right off the high school circuit, bro. You kidding me? Skill-wise, he might be the number one guy right away instantly. So I'm just telling you, you guys can dump on Freeman all you want. It is a fact that the struggles in the wide receiver room are rooted in Reese and Kelly being bad at their jobs. Sorry. That's it. All right. That's going to be it. I made it. I survived my Ohio State penance. We tried to have fun with it. We had some good back and forth. Thank you, everybody that donated. Thank you, everybody that watched. Thank you, everybody that called. And then you know the deal. We're going live tonight for the pregame party. Get a couple drinks in you and give me a call later. So we're doing that. We're going to have the pregame party later, and we'll have a stream on. And we'll see what's going on. Anders says, John, BK is not making the final decisions of the games this year. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. But the better, Andrew, you can't tell me this isn't true. The more talent you have, the easier it is to make decisions and have what you decide work for you. That's fair. I question some of Freeman's decisions too. The more elite talent you have, the more leeway you have with your decision making. That's kind of how this goes. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight on the pregame party, and have a good one. This was fun, even though I hated it. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for donating. Thanks for calling.